Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory have been serving Quad City families and veterans since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.
Moline keeping its head above water, and we've heard the mosquito season could be rough this summer, but there's another insect whose bite can also be a danger. Why one woman is spearheading an effort to get lawmakers to take action against ticks in the cities. We are facing another Mississippi River crest this week, and while Davenport gets a lot of attention because of the threat to its chunk of downtown, other communities like Moline are also facing disruptions and, to be honest, a growing flood fatigue may be setting in. Joining us is the mayor of Moline, Stephanie Acree, as well as the new administrator for the city of Moline, Lisa Cotter. Thank you both for joining us. Welcome to Moline. You're, of course, from Geneseo, and you've inherited a flood.
Yes.
Tell me what this problem is right now as far as the city of Moline is concerned.
I think ours is really just a maintenance, as you said. It's making sure that we, no pun intended, keep our head above water with the regular occurrence of being above flood stage. So our staff's been doing an awesome job in Public Works, making sure that we are supporting the individual areas that kind of pop up each time. So when we've had a rain event, it might be a different area than something actually along the river frontage. And we've been doing a great job keeping up, trying to be as supportive as we can of our areas that have been flooding, both in streets and businesses.
Well, and Mayor, the biggest thing about this flood, of course, is the height of the flood, but also the endurance, how long it has lasted. And that has to be taxing for your city staff that may not be fighting it to the extent that other communities are, but still is mindful of it and still has to fight it in some effects.
So we've been at or above flood level for 75 days now, and that's an extraordinarily long time to be dealing with it. But we have a very strong staff, and we have excellent equipment already in place to address the issues. And so I think that our team is doing a reasonable job of addressing all of the flooding issues, but we are taking note of anything that has not gone according to plan this year to try to make sure that we're in a position to better address it next year.
Well, you think there'd be water, public works, parks being the ones that are greatest impacted as far as your workers are concerned. Does that mean other things aren't getting done or are being delayed?
Oh, it has had an impact on all sorts of things. We have $7.2 million worth of roads planned for this season, and we're working with the I-74 bridge construction, which has also been delayed, to try to navigate all of that construction congestion that will be coming.
The other big concern, of course, is that the water plant is right there on the Mississippi River. I mean, that seems to be the biggest feature for Moline, that and Ben Butterworth, that's affected by the flooding, and so far that has been well contained if there's any problem at all.
Yeah, the community invested a lot of money in that plant to make sure that we were in a position to address situations like this, and I think the investment has been worthwhile.
Well, Lisa Cotter, you've been on the job for just a short period of time. What's your first, I mean, you're from Geneseo, so you know Moline, about as well as anyone could that's stepping into this job. What has been your first impressions?
It's been a great opportunity. Appreciate the mayor and the city council giving me a chance to take this leadership role. And it's been wonderful getting to know the staff, really just listening and learning. Obviously, with some of the vacancies that we have in the staff, there's a little different flavor than if you were fully staffed, but trying to take a big role in economic development and helping the staff with that. Looking for our new police chief that we hopefully will find here in the next few weeks. And so it's been great, and I appreciate how welcoming everybody's been here in the Quad Cities.
Do those things go together as far as when we're talking about the police chief and economic development and a treasurer's position? I mean, do you try to do it all at once, or you try to prioritize and do one before the others?
So we kind of took a phased approach. Obviously, with having Chief Finney here, he's got some limitations in terms of his ability to stay with us more long term. So we had that priority, and that was a longer vacancy. We were able to appoint an interim person for the finance director, and so that's stable. And then, as I said, I'm taking a little bit more of a lead with economic development, and we have a great planning department. And so first priority is police chief, and then next will be finance, and last will be economic development.
So Mayor, what are you looking for? I mean, what does the council hope to see as far as a new police chief is concerned? Let's start there.
So we have a process in place for how we identify the best candidate for police chief, and we have a commission that's appointed to do the first phase of being a filter for all the candidates that are there. We have over 20 candidates in this round already, and we're continuing to gather up candidates. The commission will meet and whittle that down to the 6 most qualified candidates, and then those will be presented to Lisa for consideration, and Lisa will come to the council to promote the candidate that she believes is the best fit, and the council will make a decision at that point.
And this really is an important time because we're talking about the I-74 bridge. We're talking about, major changes downtown. When you're talking about economic development or planning, for the head of that to be gone is a big issue, but it doesn't mean that all the ideas are gone. It doesn't mean that the staff that was working there is gone as well.
Well, I think it's a good alignment of opportunity. So Lisa's come in and she is in a position that she can build her team, which is really important for the leader of such a large, important organization to have the opportunity to do. So I think we're going to take it as an advantage, and she'll build her team and identify her leadership, and I think we'll be better for it.
I mean, in a way, is it not a good opportunity because you do get to create in so many ways key members, key components to your team?
Yeah, again, I think we always want to look at the positive side of things, as the mayor said, and we'll look for people who fit what we need right now. We appreciate those that were in the positions before, and obviously there's a loss of some of their knowledge, but they did a great job for us, and so will the next person. So we look forward to the opportunity to pick new leaders in all these different work areas.
Being from Geneseo, an outside observer, you do know so much of what's going on in Moline. So what do you see as far as economic development as being a big priority? I mean, is it the fear of the loss of retail, some of the big box stores, some of the problems that we see perhaps at South Park Mall with empty businesses? Do you see it as residential as being the big issue? I mean, what do you see, or even industrial, what do you see as the big issue that affects economic development for Moline?
I really think it's intertwined, and it's important that we have a balanced approach. That if you have industrial livable wages, we have an amazing opportunity with having John Deere in our home. I met with leaders from the seeding plant yesterday and really talked about how we use that to our benefit. Also, obviously, as you said, retail and residential, and they all go together. And so we want to make sure that we focus on all of them and have a balanced approach to that. But we have lots of opportunities. There may be conversations that we're at a disadvantage in Illinois, but we have to be the leaders and position ourselves so that we are good advocates for our community. Even the mayor and I have attended, probably in my short time here already, I think 8 ribbon cuttings. So there are good things happening in Moline, and we're trying to do our best, even in a small business across the street from the mall, to promote them, to be there, to have city staff there, to put them on our Facebook page, and 35,000 people saw that post. And so it's little things like that we can do to be good advocates for our business community.
Well, and Mayor, I mean, we're working now under the 2019 budget, and you've been trying to be, of course, fiscally responsible. Is it becoming more difficult? I mean, because you're taking a look right now, we're looking at what the Illinois legislature is doing, and they're talking about different ways for taxes, trying to perhaps reduce property taxes, perhaps increase income taxes, all these different ideas. Are you a little worried about what the Illinois legislature is going to do that could impact Moline right now?
Well, I mean, we're certainly advocating so that our municipal organization has as much financial strength as we can have. We have a lot of opportunities, though. Our residents provide a significant amount of money to support the services that they need. And so we are continuously looking at how can we more effectively provide those services at less cost. And that's just, we're being challenged to do that, but we welcome the challenge.
And is that one of those things, I mean, obviously you had to pore over the numbers, you had to pore over the books. I mean, was that anything that surprised you about the city of Moline? Is that perhaps there's areas that can be cut more, or there's efficiencies that still need to be used?
I think that we're always, as leaders in a community, looking to be as efficient as we can. Not so much maybe cutting as making sure that we're being as efficient as we can. So one of the areas that the council had looked at just prior to my arrival was legal services. And we've privatized that and believe that we can be efficient and also save money for the taxpayer. So we're going to always look for every opportunity that we can, but it's a great community in terms of its finances. There's a solid base, and I think that we'll do everything that we can with whatever challenges we face to make sure we do what's best for the community and the taxpayers.
There, of course, is a learning curve for you as you're coming in as the new city administrator for Moline, but what is hitting a home run for your first year here? What would be the biggest accomplishment? Of course, filling some of these key positions is critically important. What else do you think is critically important as far as your first year of tenure?
I think really learning and creating some stability. You know, there's been a lot of change, both in my position, with the chief, with all those other department heads, and you can kind of feel that we want to make sure that on the Illinois side, as the largest community in the Quad Cities, I want us to be the rock stars. I want us to walk in and know that we're doing a great job. And because of some of that instability, it's just been a challenge in some of the projects when we've done our P25, QCOM, that because there's just been disjointed positions. So I want to make sure that we create stability, that we create those key positions, have the council feel good about the work that we're doing, and not that they didn't feel good about it before, but just when you have turnover like that or vacancies, it just is a challenge. And the people have done a great job keeping all the work getting done in progress. But I want to make sure that we create those positions that we need, fill them, create stability, and then, as you said, keep going with our bridge project and making sure that any economic development opportunities that we can utilize and take advantage of, that those are full steam ahead and that we're being good advocates for business people.
And then purely on a personal note, I know it's 2019, but it's so unusual in the Quad Cities to have two female leaders, a female mayor and a female city administrator. And that has not gone unnoticed, I'm sure, by a number of people, including you as well. I mean, what's the dynamics here? I mean, are you pleased with the way this could go? I mean, is there something that has to be proven even in 2019 about leadership among women?
Well, I'm glad that it's here today. I'm a little disappointed that it didn't happen before today, but I think it's our opportunity to prove to the community that this was a good decision and that gender doesn't matter. It's not an honor to be the first, it's an honor to not be the last. So we're going to prove that we can do a good job.
Exactly.
I'd have to ask you the same question. I mean, because you were working in Geneseo, the position isn't new for a woman, but I mean, here in Moline it is.
Right. I think that I try not to focus too much on gender. It certainly is an issue. I think if anything, I try to again see it as a positive that perhaps Mayor Acree and I manage a little bit differently because we're female. But we do our best, and we are always going to do what's best for the community. But we may have a different approach to things than if we had our male counterparts. But we're going to do a great job, and at the end of the day, it's clear to me that all of our elected officials, staff, regardless of gender, are there for the same reasons, is our taxpayers and the community, and doing the best service that we can to those people.
But do you also see it as a learning opportunity for young women? I mean, I know you're thinking this is my job, it's just a job, but in so many different ways it could be a teaching moment for so many young women, Lisa.
I think it is. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and it was a very different opportunity that you were never in competition, so it was probably a different experience for me, but I do think that I raised two sons, and so I don't have an opportunity to raise daughters, but I think that regardless of your gender, the biggest thing to me is anything that you set your mind to in the great country that we live in, you have opportunities to achieve those goals. And so if we can be a good example as female leaders in our community, and we even have another female person taking on Dr. Savage will be our school superintendent. So there's another key position here in Moline that will also be a female. I don't know if that's the first one or not. But I think that we'll just prove that no matter what your gender is, that we're going to do a great job. But it is a good, you see that in the sciences and in the math that they talk about that and the mayor being an engineer, she's also even in her private sector job.
My world has
in the
always
minority.
been filled with being, a little bit of a minority in the meetings that I go to, just because of my being an engineer and being a machine shop owner. And so that's not unusual for me. So I probably don't have as good a perspective as someone outside looking in. But I just think it's important to do your best every day and try to continuously prove that the gender of a person is not relevant in their effectiveness.
Moline Mayor Stephanie Acree, new city administrator Lisa Conner, thank you both for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
In a moment, the power of the tick. But first, Laura Adams, Out and About.
This is Out and About from May 27th through June 2nd. Don't miss the fun and excitement of the annual Quad Cities Criterium professional bike race in the village of East Davenport, May 27th, starting at 1. The public is invited to attend one of the oldest continuous observances of Memorial Day at the 100th Annual Memorial Day service at Historic Summit Church, May 27th at 9 a.m. Christian Care's annual Trivia Night will be held at the Center for Active Seniors in Davenport on the 31st, beginning at 6. Enjoy the sights, sounds, and smells of yesteryear as actors recreate pioneer life at Dan Nagel Walnut Grove Pioneer Village in Long Grove, Iowa. Or join the Quad City Symphony Orchestra as they play Star Wars: A New Hope in concert at the Adler Theater June 1st. It's your last opportunity to see Grumpy Old Men closing June 1st. Then there's the Buddy Holly Tribute Concert on May 30th, and Holiday Inn the Musical opens June 2nd. It's all at Circa 21. Join David Cassis and TJ Regal at the Renwick Mansion for Magic at the Renwick, May 31st at 7 p.m. And the Clinton Symphony Orchestra present their benefit and gala at Petrelli's Tuscany Center in Clinton, May 31st. Reservations required. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thanks, Laura. Lojo Russo is a one-woman show that proves that you only need one woman. She proved that when she took the stage at Moline's Black Box Theater. Lojo Russo in our spotlight tonight with Street Sing.
Weather at hand grips a battered case, tells the story of the ride. There's a little piece of sidewalk where he spends his days, like an island in a sea of discontents. He's a street singer, bell ringer, calling the weary to the fold. He's a soothsayer, a knee prayer, turning gospel into gold. With practiced reverence, measured grace, he begins to weave his magic spell. And he waits for you to slow your pace, and he knows his song hasn't found its mark. He's a sidewalker, smooth talker, small comfort for the soul. He's a town crier, he's a poor liar, turning gospel into gold. Singer of secrets, a teller of tales, a gypsy, a giant, and a ghost. Sings like an angel on his way to hell. Shows you the way when you're lost. Dream dies with the last note played, and you wake to the noise in the crowd. The coin is tossed, the bargain paid. He starts again. It's time to move on. He's a street singer. He's a bell ringer. He's a town crier,
Lojo Russo with Street Sing. She'll be at Grumpy's this Thursday night in the village of East Davenport and LeClaire's Mississippi River Brewing Company on Friday night. Well, it's not surprising that many people are worried about the mosquito population this summer, but the common wood tick should also be a concern. It can spread Lyme disease, which is often successfully treated if caught early, but that's the point. It needs to be caught early. And joining us is Jennifer Russell, the founder of Spotlight on Lyme QCA, an organization that is trying to get the word out about Lyme disease, and it's a very personal story for you.
Absolutely, very personal.
Tell me about that, because your daughter, you believe, was bit by a tick 6 years ago.
Correct. So it started, she came home, I heard the bus when she, it was time for her to come home from school, and she never came in the house. And I went outside and found her laying in the driveway. And she said, "Mommy, my legs just won't work anymore." And she said they're too tired. So I carried her in, and she was sick the whole weekend, went to doctor's appointments and couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. It was a 3-year journey trying to figure out what was going on.
That is just absolutely hard to believe that it was a 3-year journey, and you were frightened because, I mean, I don't want to diminish it, but they thought it was leukemia, which I would think must have been even more frightening at first.
Absolutely. That was the scariest day.
And it was actually you being the detective, the medical detective, that kind of put it all together to find out that it was Lyme disease, because as you were pointing out, there's usually a telltale sign for so many people that get bit by a tick, and that is not necessarily always what happens.
Correct. So usually you get the telltale bullseye symptom, and she never produced that, but she had all the flu-like symptoms. And when we went to Iowa City, her white blood count was so low that she thought she had leukemia. And then they decided after some blood tests that, well, maybe not. So it was kind of just a continued roller coaster for 3 years.
So you created this organization, really a grassroots organization, Spotlight on Lyme. Who have you reached out to? I mean, have you heard similar stories? Have you talked to other parents?
Yeah, so when Lauren was, we were figuring out that this was Lyme disease, I really wanted her to have an opportunity to meet with other people in the area that had the same symptoms. So through my search, there wasn't any. And I would meet more and more people from the Quad Cities that were suffering, the same as her, and they had asked if I would start a support group. And so that's where it started. We have it at Unity Point Trinity on the 3rd Tuesday of every month. We have a support group there. And it's kind of just grown from there. I have one now in Aledo at Genesis Hospital on the 1st Tuesday of the month. And then we've had so many kids in our area affected that we're doing a monthly support group at the First Baptist Church in Aledo for just our kids.
And how many people are there? I mean, is this more widespread than you even thought?
Oh, I hear people every day that have suffered, or they have a family member that suffers. Yeah.
And it is treatable.
It is treatable.
Explain
if
that,
you're
yeah.
caught early. So the problem is the bacteria, once you get bit, it's so misdiagnosed. So if you don't catch it within the first 30 days, the bacteria is slow growing, so the bacteria is about a 28-day life cycle. And if you don't get antibiotics in that time, it gets deep in your tissues and it starts disseminating into your organs. And so treatment is much more complex.
So obviously, I mean, how is your daughter doing now? I mean, it took 3 years for the diagnosis. We're 6 years into it.
Yeah, she's doing very well. She's finally, this year she's done full school and hasn't really had too many issues, and you're like, yay.
Yeah, exactly.
And
she's just becoming a teenager. It's such an important, a time for growth and for her to be a part of her classes and all those other things.
And be a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's interesting also is that not only did you create the group that's a support group for parents, but also you're fighting for legislation. So tell me about that, because this isn't new. Your fight actually started more than a year ago.
Correct. So I had gone to a Lyme disease conference in Ohio and met with a Lyme doctor, and Lauren and I have always said we want to make our mess our message. So I talked to this doctor about what do we do in our state. There's not hardly any doctors that'll help people. I have so many people in my support group that need help. And she said, until you get doctor protection in your state, you're not going to go anywhere.
And doctor protection meaning that the doctors would be allowed to prescribe stronger or a longer term antibiotic?
Correct. So Lauren's journey, it took 3 years, or it took a year of 3 antibiotics at once to get her to the point that she is at now. She had short-term memory loss. She had all kinds of issues that we dealt with through the years. And it, you know, it's a scary thing giving your daughter that many antibiotics for a year, but when you see them laying in their bed and they can't move and their legs and joints hurt so bad that they can't even walk down a set of stairs, you kind of do what you have to do.
Absolutely. And the bill before Governor Pritzker right now would do what?
So the bill right now this year would have in-state regulated insurance companies pay for longer term antibiotics.
To get that protection. What you already won over was what last year?
Yes, yeah, we won unanimously last year as well, and then Governor Rauner did veto that legislation, but we went back in the fall and overrode that veto.
What do you tell a parent this summer? Because everyone's worried about mosquitoes, of course, but the ticks are out there too.
The ticks with the moisture, especially with the flooding, they're going to be a serious issue. So really, it's be diligent about doing tick checks. Do your protection, permethrin. We put permethrin on our clothes. You don't want to put it on your skin, but you treat your clothes, you treat your boots, you treat everything when you go out, and that will kill the tick if you get a tick on you. So just prevention methods. And then make sure if you do get a tick, you take it off right, because that is another big risk. If you don't remove it correctly, you just find pointed tweezers and just pull it right off, and then you want to save it. You can test the tick for pathogens. It's a lot easier to do that than it is for us.
Helps the doctors and the nurses right away.
Yes.
Jennifer Russell, so much. Thank you very, very much. Of course, she is with Spotlight on Lyme QCA, and you can learn more about that by going to our organization on the website. It's spotlightonlymeqc.com. Very easy. WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military, and the Army is ready to help military men and women, retirees and their spouses, get a better job. An advanced resume class is scheduled for next Friday afternoon at Building 110 on Arsenal Island. The session will help people tailor their resumes to get better government jobs. You can contact the Employment Readiness Office to reserve your spot. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device, thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory have been serving Quad City families and veterans since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds, and are proud supporters of WQPT.